Hi there and welcome to this video in the IBM Cloud Foundation Skills Series. And in this video we're going to look at the kinds of steps that you'll probably go through in the first 60 minutes of having your account. So what we're going to cover is setting up billing alerts. So these are alerts that will let you know if you're getting close to spending thresholds within your account. We'll go through the process of setting up IAM resource groups, and we'll also look at the process of creating access groups. We'll then look at the process of inviting users to your account, and then we'll also very quickly check out support and the different support options that are available within IBM Cloud as well. So very quickly, just to look at the setup we're going to use for IAM and the rules project. So basically what we're going to have is a project which has a development, a test, and a production environments. So just going to see very quickly how to create the resource groups for development, test, and prod. So we're going to create rules dev, rules test, rules prod resource groups. And similarly for access groups, I'm going to show you how to create these three access groups. So one for rules developer, where I add some rules or some privileges, which will be example privileges that you might want to give a developer. Similarly, an access group for project managers, so again, some rules that you might want to consider giving to a project manager. And then for a DBA. So the DBA ones is targeted at specific services that a DBA might actually need access to. So let's go ahead and get on to the IBM Cloud Console. Okay, so here I am in the dashboard of my IBM Cloud account at cloud.ibm.com. In fact, this is an account that I've actually recently upgraded. So I've put my credit card details in and unlocked the full IBM Cloud catalog. So basically I'm now ready to start inviting users and building out applications. But before I do that, I just want to amend some settings in my account. And again, I'll recommend that you do this as well, which will help me manage my billing, mainly to stop me getting any nasty surprises at the end of the billing period when my invoice actually turns up. So to do that, what I'm going to do is click Manage and then go to Billing and Usage. So on this screen, you can see you get a summary of your month-to-date spending, as well as a comparison from last month, as well as an average monthly spend as well. So this really is the hub of keeping an eye on your cloud spending. So from here I can see that I've got a pay-as-you-go account, and I can also see my support plan as well. And then down here what we've got are spending notifications. So this is what I'm actually going to set up, is some spending notifications. So the easiest way to do that is actually click over here on spending notifications. And then what you'll see is this screen. So by default, you've got these preset notifications. So we've got 3 of those at the moment. These are disabled right now. But basically, I can set up a notification that will notify me of total account spending. It will notify me of total Cloud Foundry runtime spending. And it will also tell me of total service spending as well. So service spending will be on Identity and Access managed services. Cloud Foundry is obviously Cloud Foundry managed services, and also a total as well. So right now these are disabled. So it's really simple to enable these. Just click the slider and turn it green, and I can do that for either 1 or 2 of them or all of them. And what will then happen is, once I get to a percentage of this threshold, I will get an email advising me of the fact, so that I can either take some action. But basically, even if a threshold has been reached, it won't actually stop the services from running or people actually creating more services if their quota allows them to. So if you reach this threshold and you want to stop at that threshold, then you do actually need to stop the service from running. So anyway, at the moment this threshold's set at £100. If I want to change that, then I can edit the notification. So what I can then do is just change the threshold here. So this is on my own credit card, so maybe I actually want to change that to £5 because £100 is perhaps a little bit too much. So if I save that, well, first of all, before I save that, just to let you know that you receive notifications when your spending reaches 80, 90 and 100% of the threshold. So you do get notification at 80%. So as I say, if you really don't want to go over the amount of your threshold, then you need to just go in and turn the service off, or even deprovision the service. So I can save that. and what we should then see is my threshold reduced to £5. So I'm going to do that on each of these. So I'm going to move that down to £5 and then click save, and do the same on the last one as well. So by the way, if so right now I've only got one person that's invited to this account, or one user that's using this account, and that's me, the account administrator. But once you actually start to invite users, you can actually select those users as email recipients. So it doesn't just rely on one person being notified. You can notify more than one person within your account if you want to, just by adding them to the account and then adding them to this notification list here as well. So let's just change that one down to £5 as well. So now basically whenever, should these ever be breached or get close to £5, then I'll receive a notification on that. Now, as well as notifications on the whole account, I can also set up service notifications as well. So let's click create. So if I, let's say I'm using object storage, or I'm using Cloudant, and I want to know if I'm getting close to breaching a particular spend on those services, then I can set a similar threshold for that particular service as well. So all I need to do is actually put in the name of the service. So I can either use the drop down, or I can start to type into here. So if I put in cloud object storage, for instance, there we go, we've got object storage. So I choose object storage. I can then choose the email recipient. So again, if there's somebody in particular that's using object storage, you need to be notified of this, and I've already invited them to my account, then I can add them here. And again, I can then just set the threshold in this is in GBP. So again, I can set that to, let's say, £5, and then click save. So the default is obviously £1,000, but I can set that to something else that I like. And then all I need to do is just enable that. And again, I can create another one. So let's say I want to do the same for Cloudant. So put in Cloudant, and again, £5. Again, you can set that threshold to whatever you need and whatever's sensible for your usage. And again, I can just enable that. So there we go. I've now got some actual service notifications set up as well. So again, this just really helps me manage my spending so that I get some notifications. Okay, so now that I've set that up, the next thing that I really want to do is set my account up so that I can then start building a project. So the project that I'm going to create is going to be called Rules. So let's go and set up some resource groups under Identity and Access Management for that. Now to do that, to actually set up the resource groups, I need to go to Account. So I go to Manage Account, and then I get a box here which is for resource groups. So I'm going to click Resource Groups, and by default you'll always have at least one resource group in your IBM Cloud account, and that's actually called Default. Now I can rename that if I want to. I can just go to Rename and call this something else. But in fact, I guess it's probably good practice just to keep the default as is. So I'm not going to actually change that. So what I'm going to do is actually now create my my other resource groups. So I'm going to call. I want a resource group for my development environment, a resource group for my test environment, and a resource group for my production environment. So I'm going to call these rules dev rg for resource group. So again, this is dead simple. Just put in the name and click create. I'm going to create another one. So I'm going to call this rules test, and again click create. And I'm going to create a third one, and I'm going to call this one prod, and just click create on there. So what you can see there is I've now got my 3 resource groups. If I've named them incorrectly, then I can go in and click rename on there and just change the name of it if I want to. So just click the rename, click save. From there as well, I can also manage access. So this is actually providing access to other users, but I'll come to that in a moment. And also from there, I can also add resources, and this will probably take me to the catalogue. and we'll take a look at that later. Okay, so that's my resource group setup. So the next thing that I might want to do is actually start creating some access groups. So if you remember, access groups are a means of granting access to more like a role rather than individual users. So it can be quite a good idea to set up your access groups before and assigning users to access groups rather than assigning rights to individual users. So to actually create an access group, again, it's dead simple. I just go down to Access and IAM. And from here, you can then see who your users are and actually control and manage access. So I'm going to create a new access group. So I'm going to click on access groups on the left-hand side over here. And what you'll see here is I've actually got an access group already. So this is a public access group. So this is a default access group that's created within the account. So again, I don't recommend you go in and change that or delete it. So what I'm going to do is actually create my first access group. So just click the blue create button and then give it a name. So I'm going to call this one rules developers. So I'm going to give it a description. So this is the default access group for developers on the rules project. So again, it's something that's meaningful. I can look at it and immediately I know what this access group is for. So then I'll do is click create, and then it will take me to this. Screen where I can start adding users or adding access policies. So first of all, let's start. Let's add a couple of access policies. So let's click on access policies, and then assign some access. So here you can see that there's some IAM services and there's also account management services as well. So these guys are developers. So the first thing I'm going to do is grant them some access, a resource group. So the resource group that I'm going to grant them access to is the rules dev resource group. So I'm just going to click there. And then it's asked me what kind of access do I want to give these developers. So I'm going to click View All. So at the moment they have Viewer. We've also got Operator, we've got Editor and Administrator. So as a developer, I want them to be able to actually perform platform actions. So actually be able to create services and manage services. But I don't actually want them to be able to manage the account and the actually assign access policies to other people. So I'm going to give them the editor right as well. Then all I need to do is click add, and then I can assign that to my access group. The other thing I might want to do is some account management. So I don't really want to give them any full account management privileges, but I do want them to be able to use the support center. So I'm going to give them a support center, some support center rights. So I'm going to allow them to view existing support cases, and I'm also going to allow them editor rights so they can actually search, create and update support cases on their own behalf as well. So again, I'm going to add that. So now that I've got those two rights, I'm going to click assign. So it actually assigns the rights, the access policies to the access group. So then that's that access group sorted out. So then I might want to create another access group. So let's click create again. And I'm going to call this one rules project managers. And say this is the access group for rules project managers. And again, within that description, I might actually want to say a bit more about what access this actually gives. But if I click create on there, again, some access policies. So let's assign some access rights. So for this, I might want to, because they're the project managers, I might actually want to give them rights to all of the resource groups. So we can do those one after the other. So I'm going to give them administrator rights. So I'm going to add that one. Then I'm going to give them another resource group. So I've done dev, I'll give them prod as well. And again, give them admin rights. And click add. And then the last resource group, which is test. So again, give them administrator rights on test as well. So basically, the administrator rights allows them to actually assign access policies to other users as well. And again, click add. And again, the other thing I might want to do is give them some more account management rules, so they can actually get some access to billing, for instance. So they might want to be able to be an editor, so they're able to actually see all of the billing information but not have any actual rights to assign anything. So again, I can add that. And I want them to be able to do some support center things. So again, I'm going to make them administrator of the support cases. And I may also want them to be able to do some user management. So again, I can choose what user rights I add there as well. So anyway, once I'm done, I can then see again a summary of what I've provided to this access group down here, and then assign the rights to the access group. And then one last access group that I'm going to create, just as an example. So this one I'm going to call it, let's say, database, let's call it, rules database admin, and say this is the admin access group for rules DBAs. So this is basically to just show you how you can assign policies to individual services as well. So if I click access policies again and assign access, so this time I'm going to use service access. So here I'm going to say Cloudant, because I know we've got Cloudant databases in here. So choose Cloudant from the list there. So again, I'm going to allow this person to be an administrator. Now this is where I've got service access roles. So service access roles differ by different services. So you may see different lists for different services. But basically, because this is a DBA, I'm going to pretty much allow every single one of these rights. So again, I'm going to click add. And again, it might be that there's some let's say DB2 access on here as well. So where are we? So we've got databases. So we've got DB2. So you can see the different databases here as well. So let's say DB2, and then we'll do one more afterwards as well. So again, I want this person to be an administrator and a manager. So you can see here that I've got a different set of service access roles. So I can add that there. And then let's say we've got some PostgreSQL as well. So let's put in Postgres. So there we go. So we'll add some rights for that too. So again, we'll make him an administrator, and this doesn't actually have any service rights for it. So again, just click add. From here you can see that there's some, these are the assignments over here, so we can assign that. But again, I've actually just granted access to this user for database services. Okay, so that's creating access groups. So let's actually invite some account users next. So to do this, again, is pretty simple. I just click I just go to users over here. You get a list of the current users. Now, obviously, at the moment, there's only me because I'm the account administrator. But I'm going to click invite users. So in this box here, I can enter up to 100 email addresses. I need to separate them by comma, spaces, or line breaks. But rather than do this one user by one user, I can actually invite a bulk set of users if I want to. So I'm just going to enter a couple of users here. So the first one is going to be me as an IBMer. So James Belton at uk.ibm.com. So again, I can add more users to that if I want to. So straight away, I can add users to an access group. So what kind of user do I want this to be? So well, this guy's going to be a project manager. So I'm going to add him straight away to the project manager's access group. And again, I can just open that up, and I can see what rights I'm actually granting there. Now, if I wanted to, I can actually assign additional access as well. So if I needed to, I could grant this user access to Cloud Foundry. So we'll cover Cloud Foundry in a later video. I can also grant them access to classic infrastructure. Again, we'll cover that in a later video as well. But again, if I've missed out some other services that I want to grant to this particular user outside of an access group, then I can do it using these buttons along here. So assuming that I've got everything that I want there, again, I can just, there's a quick summary up here as to what I've done, and then I can just click invite, and that will invite the user. So what you'll see now is that I've got two users. They both happen to be me, but I've now got two users actually invited to this particular account. Now, one last thing that I will talk about is support. So if I just click support up here. Now again, support is really quite simple to use. If I want to, I can create a case. So I can click the create a case button here, and then use these different tiles here to actually create a support case. So for instance, if I've got an account issue, I can click account. I've then got some different types of problems. So let's suppose that I've got problems with setting platform notifications. Then it'll give me some information about how I can do that. But if I haven't found the information that I need, then I can actually go on and create a case and put in some information. So there's some guidance here as to how to create a case with good information in so it can be resolved quickly, and I can add some attachments and all those kinds of good things too. And then all I need to do is click next, and it will raise a case for me. The other thing I do is actually go and chat. So again, I can open a chat window and talk to someone through support through there as well. The other thing to notice is that because I've got a pay-as-you-go account, I've actually got a basic support plan. So IBM Cloud does have three different types of support. So there's basic, there's advanced, and there's premium. So if you want to learn a little bit more about those different support plans, then just scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and you can click the support plans link down there. So this basically takes you to a page in the documentation, and you can actually then see a description of the different support plans. So with basic support, which is what I have at the moment, well, basically I have basic business protection for my pay-as-you-go or subscription account. It gives me 24/7 access to support, but it doesn't allow me to set a case severity, and I don't have any response time objectives or additional support, for instance. But it is free of charge. Now, if I'm actually using my account to run a development project, and if I go on to actually use my account to host production services, then 9 times out of 10 basic support isn't going to be good enough for me. So what I would then need to do is look at upgrading my support to either advanced support. So with advanced support, I still get 24/7 access to IBM Cloud, but I actually get prioritized case handling and a prioritized support experience. And as you can see, I'm able to rank my cases, and I can see here that I've got support response time objectives as well, which are listed here. And if I've got an account where the services that I'm creating are really business critical, then I can go to premium support. So with premium support, this actually gives me much faster initial response times. I also get assigned a technical account manager with quarterly business reviews, and what that means is that the technical account manager will help me manage my support cases through the IBM Cloud support process, and also talk to me about on a quarterly basis about any issues that might be in my account, and perhaps give me some guidance on how to overcome those issues. And I also get better access to experts within IBM Cloud as well. So note that advanced and premium support do obviously carry a cost. But again, if you're doing things in your IBM Cloud account which are business critical, then it's probably better to have advanced support as a bare minimum. So really the only other thing that I'll point out in this video is you can also go and upgrade or change some of your account settings. So for example, if you click if you go to manage and account and then go to account settings, Then if you want to, you can actually change the name of your account. So at the moment it's called James Belton's account. But if I wanted to change this to a company name, for instance, or the name of another account, I can just click on there and actually edit the account name. As I mentioned in an earlier video, if I get a subscription account or I have feature codes such as discount codes that I want to apply to my account, then I can go and come in here and do that. Just click apply code and put the code into the box over here. If you're in the EU and you need to ensure that the account support comes from an IBM Cloud team located in the European Union, then you can switch this on and off over here. So at the moment this is switched off, but if I wanted to turn that on, then I can do so there. So again, let's just make sure that my support is handled within the EU. Similarly, if I need HIPAA support, so if I've got HIPAA type data within my account, then again I can set my HIPAA support on. Another really useful thing to have in your IBM Cloud account is to have virtual routing and forwarding on. So at the moment this is switched off, but what this allows me to do if I have this switched on is that if I have services which are created under classic infrastructure, if I have this switched on, then those classic services can integrate more easily with services that are non-classic services. So for instance, if you have a virtual private cloud created and you want to connect that virtual private cloud to classic resources using a transit gateway, then you'll find that you need to have virtual routing and forwarding actually switched on. So again, it's not going to cost you any money to do this, so I would recommend that you actually switch on virtual routing and forwarding. And lastly, if you want to actually get rid of your account and deactivate it, then if you come into account settings, then you can actually deactivate your account by either giving us a call or creating a support case to do so. And that's it for this video, so thank you very much for watching. So hopefully from there you're now able to set up any billing notifications that you need. You're obviously able to set up your account for your first project, so creating the resource groups, creating some access groups, and then inviting some users. I do encourage you to think about what kind of support you might need within IBM Cloud. Is a basic free tier enough for you? Or, are you actually developing applications or deploying production systems within your IBM Cloud account? And therefore, do you need to have enhanced levels of support? So I do urge you to have a think about that. But again, thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been informative, and we'll see you in the next video.